like picture myself like old and like someone's trying to talk to me. I can't hear a single like goddamn thing they're saying. And the only thing in my head is just the ending guitar solo of David Bowie because I can't hear
all you
anything.
hear is welcome to General Admission. Today is July 20th, and we went to a show. Hold for applause. Hold for
A
trumpets.
hot, sticky, sweaty show that was
It
inside.
it was so sweaty. I'm sweating just thinking about it. It was Less Than Jake at the House of Independence, which is like 500 people, right? Yeah.
And it
It
was
it
jammed.
was
It was well, it
oh
was a
yeah.
sold out show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, true. It was real sweaty, real skanky, moshy. The pit was the skank pit was everyone was skipping around, everyone was doing their thing, and a lot of crowd surfers too. A lot
that I
of
don't think they were prepared for.
big crowd surfers. I don't
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm always like
we dropped a
prepared.
guy.
Yeah. We did well, a, a drop would imply that we failed to catch him when in reality
We had no chance of catching him.
we didn't know there was anything that needed to be caught until he was on the ground.
That might be the hardest I've ever seen someone hit the floor before.
I felt it like because my feet were right there. Like, and he was, as far as the people crowd surfing, he was one of the smaller guys. Like, totally could have caught him. I think
Just
I could have
really
caught him by
tall.
myself if you give him a little kiss on the forehead and then just put him down. But nope, nothing.
No one laid a finger on him, and he just smacked the ground. It was like the scene in the other guys, like The Rock and Samuel Jackson.
Aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes.
This guy, this guy. So there was no barrier between the crowd and the stage, and the crowd surfers would just go right onto the stage. There was no security to catch them, and then they would jump back into the crowd. This guy, it was during the encore, so like I don't know if they were between. I don't know why we didn't see him. Is
I think we're just paying attention to the band. They're like right in the middle of was it Johnny
yeah,
Quest? It was, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he jumped from like if he jumped from the middle of the stage in our direction, we would have saw him. But he jumped from like the side of the stage.
At an angle he jumped.
Yeah, we talked to him about it though. Like we helped him up, and then between songs, we're like, man, that was a hard one.
He's like, but he
Yeah.
wasn't feeling any pain at that point. I'm sure
No.
Monday morning he was, but
Yeah. Yeah. The band had to. So we we talk about this after the show, but do you think the band was like they weren't upset
they
about
were
the
they were flustered, I think is the right
flustered?
word.
Of
I don't know,
course.
like they've played Jersey for like 30 years.
Yeah.
They should know like how beloved they are here and how crazy crowds can get sometimes. But
Especially the
I think the venue was new and they weren't aware there was no security up front. Starland, I'm pretty sure it's usually
yeah.
locked down in front, but not.
Yeah.
You can literally just walk on stage at House of Independence.
Yeah. There at the end of Amberlin, they invited the whole crowd on the stage to take a picture, and everyone who possible who could go up just went up. Thought the stage was gonna collapse. But yeah, they had to like back up Chris's mic from center stage because he was just like I have a clip of Roger saying like we're glad you guys are having fun, but like let us play the fucking songs. Like he's like, we're here for the chaos, but we need it to be somewhat controlled.
Yeah, he didn't want to lose a tooth, Chris.
Yeah.
He's got the new hair. He doesn't want to lose a tooth now.
He shouted out his hair surgeon or whatever whatever the technical term is for that. He's like, yeah, this guy gave me plugs and like it's awesome. Look, and he's like holding his hair back for like his hairline. Really funny.
And the bald like trombone player just shaking his head.
Yeah. He and remember when so people would crowd surf up and the trombone player uh
Was security?
yeah, he would literally just put his trombone in people's faces if they got close to the stage and go "Wah." He would just like try and deny them via trombone. He was having a great time though. His
They all
face
were.
was
It just I think
yeah,
they just were not expecting to not have someone catching crowd surfers for them.
yeah, yeah,
Really cool venue to see a band though, because like it's very rare that up close and personal with like a band you really love.
yeah.
Like
There's
Menzingers there was incredible too.
wow, that would be and I was that as crazy? I feel like it would be pretty close actually, because no,
Less Than Jake was much crazier. Well, I think
nice.
just Voodoo Glow Skulls kind of set the tone.
Yeah, shout out Voodoo Glow Skulls, California ska punk. Their lead singer had on like the poncho like rug thing, and then like this mask like
The
El
Mexican
Nacho
wrestler.
Libre. Yeah,
Yeah.
had horns and shit, and like he was jumping and yelling. He didn't have an instrument, and it was just a great opener to set the tone because you didn't need to know the songs. You could know the songs very quickly. Like I was singing along before, like halfway on most
You
of
learn them
them.
quick.
Yeah. What was the one? It was just like fuck society. It was like something weird like that.
Oh yeah.
I was having a blast with that one.
A lot of O's. It's like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have O's and like Bouncing Souls of O's.
O's. O's and O's. Then Blink has na na na's. You got to pick your sound and then just commit to
And
it.
go with it.
Yeah.
And apparently they've been around for like forever. And like that was the first I've heard of them was that night. Which I mean just shows how not deep my ska knowledge is, but
Was it? I don't remember if it was you or Palazzi telling me. Shout out Palazzi also went to the show. Also shout out Kristen. We had a great crew.
awesome
But
crew.
they had a new this their singer's like relatively new. The
Oh
old
yeah, I
one
was done. I
left.
was reading their Wikipedia page and I got on.
Yeah. So I mean like
From Death by
oh shit.
Stereo, like the same singer.
Uh I vaguely recognize that name, but not too much. Also like he wears a mask, so same Slipknot effect. Like, do they even need to tell anyone?
Yeah. But then he took it off at the end of the show. Like towards the
Yeah,
end of the
he did
show.
take it off. And they had like this giant like booger looking mascot thing waving a flag around.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But Palazzi was saying like the Less Than J crowd isn't normally like that. Like that was an aggressive like skank
Uh
pit for them.
yeah. It was yeah, it definitely was like harder than usual because usually with them it's more like skippy in the pit, and this felt a little more
There were
rough.
elbows.
But it
Yeah.
could be maybe because like Hello Rockview's like more punk than ska almost. Like a lot of the songs are pretty like high energy. Whereas like when they can mix in something like Science of Selling Yourself Short, like that's more of like a bounce around song. So bounce around the room. I had to do it before you did.
Beat me to it.
It
Skanking down the
was
numbers line.
nicely done. It was great. It was so they encored with they did Science of Selling Yourself Short. This is in not the right order. Look What Happened, Lie to Me, Johnny Quest Thinks We're
Automatic.
Sellouts, Automatic, and Gainesville Rock City.
Really solid encore.
Yeah. 6 songs on top of the album.
So they
I
played
don't
20 total.
I don't think I could have physically went longer.
No.
Yeah.
We were tired from the opener and like we were just standing there
Yeah.
most of the time. But there's just like a cloud of humidity in there.
Yeah. I bought this shirt I have on now for anyone watching on YouTube, and I just used it as like a sweat rag for the entire show. It was drenched. I was drenched. We were all completely drenched. Oh, I didn't even tell you this, Brett. After you left, we were trying to figure out what to do because we all just like really wanted water, not even like a beer. I mean, I would have took any liquid, but we couldn't find anything. And the only clubs were or bars were like Empress or something, and like they're not letting us in like disgusting like
Like you
that.
just got out of the pool.
Yeah, so we went to the beach and jumped in the ocean.
There you go.
Yeah.
That probably felt amazing though.
It did. It really did. Walking on, because it was like 11:30 at night at this point. It's foggy. No one's obviously on the beach. I'm just thinking how stupid this is and how I'm gonna have to get back in an Uber. But we all like no one wanted to be the one to say we shouldn't. So we all just like doubled down. And I mean I took off most of my clothes, just went in like my boxers, and I was already soaked before going in, so it really didn't make much of a difference. I felt cleaner. It really
Wipe
great
this, it
decision.
rinse the sweat off.
Yeah, really great decision. I don't know how bad we must have smelled for the Uber or not. Just like salt. It's just salt. It's like body
Just
salt
salt and
and
sweat.
ocean salt. Ocean breeze salty. Uh
When I got home, I told Sandra like that's the sweatiest I've been since like a full day at Warp Tour, and we
yeah.
were there for like a quarter of the time.
Yeah. And even like the Warp Tour, well, there was kind of a breeze at times, maybe. I guess it
Not in like
depends.
the racetrack days.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like '07. I think I went to one at that racetrack.
You just cook in the on the parking lot.
Yeah. I thought I was in a field. Is there one in a field? Probably.
We're
Vaguely remember a field.
used to be somewhere before the racetrack. It
Yeah.
might have been a field, but now I'm
Yeah.
blanking on where it used to be.
Yeah. Either way, hot as fuck. Great time though. Great time.
And that was
We
show 1 of 3 this month.
yeah. We also had the Less Than Jake beer there, which was just okay from Icarus Brewing. They made
Little
a Hello Rock Brew.
lot going on.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
make great beer, Icarus, but there's a lot going on in that one.
Yeah. But you gotta get the band's beer. If they have a beer, might as well try it. And
Hello
I'm
Rock Brew is
yeah.
called.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, so one down, three to go, or two to go for July. And I also went to the Lanes Friday night on the way down. So I want to shout out some of the bands. I don't talk about too much, but I was driving down to my parents anyway for my dad's 60th birthday. Happy birthday, dad. And like I have to pass Asbury, so I might as well just stop and go to the show. It was my friend's band called A Boy Named John. Great band. They're like early 2000s vibe, like Seosin kind of Coheedy with like their instrumentals and stuff, like very solid. Then there's Jawdust, who we've talked about on the podcast before. It's like half of Halogens and these two other dudes, and they were just straight up hardcore, heavy as hell. It was like me and like four dudes moshing. The place was it was not a very full show. I mean, there was like 100 to 200 people in there maybe, but that's it wasn't like
No one was going at it.
no, not really. People were like lined up along the front. People were watching the band, but me and like four other guys would occasionally just like push each other and like I don't know. How do you not mosh to that? The music is heavy as hell.
It's Jawdust.
Yeah, motherfucker. And opening band, there was this opening band there called Shutter. Um Shutter, not Shudder.
Shudder's
Um
the horror movie streaming service, right?
you would know better than me. I have not
I'm
seen that
pretty
one.
sure.
Wait, there's a whole streaming service for horror movies? That's pretty cool.
Shudder.
Because they make you shudder.
There you go.
Wow. Wow, we really cracked the code on that one. But these guys were just like emo-y Midwest style. Like the singer was great, and then bassist was doing some like screams and backup singing. Their guitarist had like this Explorer Gibson, which is the one that's like Um, think of a Les Paul shape, then think of like a flying V shape. You know that other one that kind of looks like
The Trey guitar,
the Ditto Pokemon?
the
Like
Prince
just that
guitar.
like no, Trey's guitar is the Languedoc. Yeah, he had an Explorer. That was cool. They were great. I'd like to try and get them on. Turns out they're from my hometown. Like the kid went to my high school, so that was pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that.
your friend, he's got a band.
Yeah. We'll talk about Fish later, but we will reference Fish this entire episode. Summer tour is in full swing and it's awesome. Then the last band was called Get Lost. They were also good. Uh, I didn't catch as much of them because I had to kind of get out of there, get to my folks. But yeah, sleeping on couches all weekend, going to shows, drinking beers. It was good. And then I slept for like 12 hours yesterday.
I needed that.
Yeah. You had a little bit of an adventure on Friday night too, right?
Or Saturday night.
Saturday
Yeah.
night.
Yes. So so Benny Horowitz of Gaslight Anthem has a side band called Town Liar with Heath Saraceno. Is it Saraceno or Saracino?
I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I've
I'm
only
not
ever
sure either.
read it. Heath
But
from Midtown.
he's from Midtown, and then they have the lead singer of Kid Dynamite, and they were really awesome. Like they put on a benefit show for Sandra's company, the New York, New Jersey Baykeeper. So like any profits from the show went right to Baykeeper. So Benny was nice enough to put a show on, and I was blown away by how good they were. I was kind of bummed like their music's not on Spotify, like it's exclusively on Bandcamp. But you can stream it on there, and like the whole
Yeah.
EP is just really, really good.
What's the name again?
Town Liar.
Town Liar. I'll check it out. Do you
I
get
think
the
it's called
talk?
Seven Lies, I think is the album. Or
Oh,
First Seven Lies,
nice.
something like that. I'm
You
definitely butchering it, but
you got to talk to Benny? You meet him?
got to meet Benny briefly beforehand and got to pose for a picture, but did not have time to give him a podcast business card, unfortunately.
You should have just slipped it into his back pocket and
I
not said
should
a
have.
word.
He
Just touched
finds it
my
later. He's like,
ass.
"What is this?" He's also extremely tall. He's like, I feel like he's like 6'5", 6'6", or something.
Damn, that's very tall man.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was kind of like as we're reading "Where Are Your Boys Tonight," it had a very like New Brunswick basement feel to it. Like there's not that many people, but like it was a really tiny venue. It's at like Trinity Church in Asbury, so it was like a little gymnasium, and like
Oh,
the
it's super
band's just like
cool.
right there in front of you. But it was awesome.
Yeah. And speaking of that book, he's in that book like a ton.
He is.
Yeah.
I got to casually reference the Manville Elks Lodge, and he was like impressed for a second. And I told him I
Nice.
was reading the book, and he didn't react to it. So I think I think it's like what you said. Like that quote might have been from like 10 years ago,
He
potentially, which would explain why
yeah,
there was no reaction.
but I felt like he was in the book like a ton.
Was right. Well, I mean, I
Yeah,
didn't get as
so
far as you did yet, but
I jumped the gun a little
you did
bit.
a keg stand
Yeah.
on that book.
It was an accident.
I'm treating it like a bourbon.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna just drink it again. If we're sticking to the drinking
Yeah,
metaphor.
there we go.
But yeah,
But yeah, I'll
we'll
reach out to Town Liar, then hopefully we can get them on. I'm pretty sure we hopefully can.
it'd be cool. It'd be very cool. Especially reading this book. We could
Yeah,
ask him all about the glory days. Like
and like
just
if you listen
setting
to
that
that,
stuff up.
when you listen to the album, like you can tell they're just having a great time. Like this is all for just like the love of music. And it was really cool to listen to.
That's great. Yeah, and then Stoked for Summer Saturday. Souls, Bayside, Screaming Females, and Mercy Union, who are pretty good. I never listened to Mercy Union before, but I looked them up a couple days ago.
They're also on that Menzingers early tour,
Yo,
that
this
August
Menzingers
tour.
tour is made me like legit cry. Not really, kind of.
I was a little crushed. Not
Like
gonna
if
lie.
we didn't have these front bottoms tickets already, it would be a real tough decision which one to go to. I mean, that could just be like the grass is always greener side of me talking. The front
Yeah,
bottoms have never disappointed me at all. It's just the Mezingers announce a tour, and it's with Microwave, Cloud Nothings, and Rodeo something. Um, sorry, not familiar with the last one, but I love Microwave, as I've said so many times on the show. I love the Mezingers, and that's like two bands that I haven't seen a whole lot, and that's like just a big double whammy. Like I can't even tell you who's opening on the front bottom show. It's probably just fucking Oso Oso for the millionth time.
Cloud Nothings are
Yeah.
great too. Like it's a phenomenal tour,
Yeah.
but there's
Ah,
no Jersey date.
maybe there will be.
It's pretty tight. Like
Yeah.
I was looking at the dates. I'm like, I don't even see where they could squeeze it in unless they just play like the week before Christmas.
Lauren seems to think they might do a Crossroads show, but just Menzingers.
That would be usually how they roll there, but I'd be all
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
That like you haven't
Oh,
been to Crossroads yet, right?
no. Also, Iron Sheik announced the Crossroads show on September 2nd, but that's Labor Day weekend. So, like, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I
They
was,
were in the book, which I was surprised to see them get a mention.
were they? Man, I need to read this again more carefully. Well, now that I
It's
have
like
the physical book, I can go back and like cross reference people's names
yeah.
because they've been around too. And they just like, I think they just tour and make music like when they feel like it. Like they might all have other projects or jobs and they just like randomly have a really good band for fun.
And one of the members died, I think, like
Oh,
within like the
damn.
last 6, 7 years.
That's rough. Yeah, that'll certainly like slow down shit. But yeah, I would love to go that. The Messingers one, like, I don't think I'd want to just drive to Philly. If
That
from
week is already
yeah,
if we didn't have the hotelier show,
yeah,
I'd 100% just be like, well, we're making a weekend of it.
yeah. Or like say from bottoms were in South Jersey, then it's like we're down there, you zip over to Philly, like it's not as much. But to go from New York City to Philly back to back nights, I I just don't want to do that. I
No.
don't want to do that more than I do want to see the band.
Yeah. Like where we live, like we're fortunate where we're like the midway point between the city and
Yeah,
Philly. Not that we're close to either,
you're just like
but
like a mile distance to both.
yeah, it's
But
like an
yeah,
hour drive for each.
yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah,
So it could have been doable, but
yeah,
that hotelier show will still be fun.
yeah. And now that Less Than Jake's over, I can start listening to other stuff. Um, I really binged Hello Rockview hard, and it's
I
a
did
great
too.
album. It didn't feel like a chore at all, but I did listen to it real hard, and it paid off because I knew all the songs, and it was a lot of fun.
I think I spent too much time on there. This is Less Than Jake than on Hello Rockview because there were some
Ah,
songs I didn't know at all.
yeah,
I mean, I didn't knew them. I just didn't know the words.
yeah, yeah. I'm curious, like, what our year end is gonna look like, because I might just be like ska as my number one genre right now between them and Millington. We have that shout out Millington. We had their like founder, lead singer, bass player on. I don't know,
Great
but
interview.
we'll probably run that next week, I think. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of horns in my life, a lot of horns. One might say, nah, I'm just kidding.
Car horn.
I was gonna say I'm very horny all the time
Oh,
lately with all this ska music. Boo. I'm Taking Back Sunday put out a new single.
a lot better than the clip they put out. Like they did not do that song justice with that
It was kind
Instagram
of
clip.
weird. The clip was just kind of like average, but the song was better than the clip. I don't I don't know why the clip didn't work for me.
The song did though. Like as a whole, I it was like a nice,
Yeah,
enjoyable
it
Taking
wasn't
Back Sunday
like
song.
a crazy song. Like it's mostly like palm muting and like there's
I'd
like
call,
barely a solo.
say it's like pretty TBS. It falls in that category.
Yeah. There's like John Nolan gets to sing a little bit and then they almost do call and response, but they don't. But like during the towards the end, like I think Adam's singing and John's doing some like O's or something, or he might be saying a word. I don't exactly remember. We can put it in. I'll put in a little clip. We're
There
gonna
we
try
go.
this episode, just put in clips. I just remember that now on the spot. So What else did we talk about? I'm gonna put in so many clips. Get ready, people.
Menzingers dropped a single
Oh,
clip.
yep, that's right. We'll get to that next though. Um, did you watch the music video for this Taking Back Sunday song? The One is what it's called.
I did because remember I think we both watched it and had the same reaction. We're like, is Eddie Reyes not in the band anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, he left. Apparently there was like he's been having some alcohol issues
Which
and
kind of bummed me out. Like reading the book bums me out because like I didn't realize like how he pretty much founded the band and like he
yeah,
would band hop for years until Taking Back Sunday. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna stick with this one.
yeah, and I remember some quote he had of like that he'll never leave. Like he like is Taking Back Sunday and like I don't know. He snubbed me though once and I mean he left for like a real reason, so I don't want to be too shitty. But I walked past him at some show at like Webster Irving Plaza, like on the stairs. Which one has the downstairs bar when you walk in, and then
I think it's is it Webster? I don't know.
yeah, I mix them all. They're
I'm
like
rusty
the
on my New York
same, the
club.
same in my head. Yeah, but I walk by him, I'm just like Eddie, nothing. Like fine, fine, screw you,
Be
man.
that way.
'Cause he was like
But if Nolan could
super
come back,
active.
he can come
Uh,
back someday,
yeah, yeah. They're man,
which we'll get into at
yeah,
another episode.
we'll save it for another time. But I was just all I'll say is right now they have the original lineup minus Eddie,
Which is pretty
the
cool.
Tell All Your Friends lineup. But yeah, there was a lot of ins and out. I think a couple of the guys like left joined. Like I think they had two instances of leaving and coming back, which is really crazy. I hope Fred comes back someday, but I don't think that'll ever happen.
No, not with Nolan
No.
back.
No, Fred wants to like write music, and I don't think that's how like I think Adam wants to write music and it's his band, so
He's got it bad.
he does. There's no Adam in team. Yeah, but I liked it. The video was cool. They were like sitting around the table talking about like a show that they were gonna perform, and then it's just all of them getting ready. Adam's got some gorgeous blonde highlights in his hair. Really knocked it out of the park. And they get in the G Wagon, which is just like I feel like if you're an artist and you have any like modicum of success, you get a G Wagon. Is it like in their contract? Do labels just give out G Wagons or are they all
They
just like
have to, right?
it really feels that way. Everyone. Everyone's got a G Wagon. That Mercedes drove me crazy. I was speeding. Shout out Mac.
The shaggin' wagon.
Yeah. Put that on the side of our G Wagon. Yeah, the song didn't like blow me away, but I thought it was good. I don't think they've never really put out anything that like I disliked. Like at worst, Taking Back Sunday is just like, oh, this is just a Taking Back Sunday song and it's fine. I
Yeah,
probably won't listen to it much. So their low bar is high, in my opinion.
I agree with that. Like, if like their last album, I don't really go back to that much, but I remember it being like pretty
Tidal Wave was
decent.
cool. Yeah, there was a couple like heavier ones I thought. I remember there were two or three that I was into for a little bit, but
I mean, Tidal Wave was a good song.
yeah, we should just do a little dive on Taking Back, do a little dive into the Tidal Wave, and maybe we'll find some happiness with these new again songs.
I'm sure I will once I get to that part in the book. Like,
I
I've
hate
been
myself.
deep diving these bands as I go through. So,
Yeah, yeah, and that the Long Island scene, crazy back then.
like, I didn't realize the first chapter just like kind of just gives you like a little peek. Like, it doesn't dive fully in yet. Like, it's mostly
No,
focused on Silent Majority.
yeah, they're just laying the groundwork. Because I don't remember if it was Silent Majority or like Rites of Spring that were like Taking Back Sunday's just like doing what we did, and they're wildly more popular, and it's not fair.
Like Silent Majority.
Yeah,
That was the chapter where Ranieri's like there were definitely bands of the old guard that weren't happy
Yeah,
with Bayside, Brand New, and Taking Back Sunday.
yeah. And it's like,
He's not wrong though. If you listen to that album, I've been listening to it like the last couple of days because it's like really really good. Life of a Spectator by Silent Majority. Like it's you hear all three of those bands on that album.
they just weren't there at the right time.
You know, they hung it up just before it blew up.
Yeah. This entire like book and scene is like the definition of like what is it? Rising
Right
tide.
place, wrong time,
Rising
or right
tide
place, right
helps
time.
raises all ships or whatever. Like all these bands coming up in different areas around the country, they all benefited from that. What is it? A rising tide helps all ships?
Rising tide lifts all ships.
Lifts.
There you
Thank you.
go.
Yeah. Yikes. Should have been able to remember
Hates
that
all
one. That's
ships.
pretty easy expression. Do we have a date for this album by Taking Back Sunday?
Not
Or
yet. So they're
nothing
kind of like
yet?
the Menzingers. They're putting out a single, but not giving the
Alright.
album date yet.
It's okay. I'm sure they'll have another single and another single and another single. Did you listen to the new Front Bottom single? I think that's
Did not yet. No.
five out of 10 on the album that are out right now.
Listen to the first two, and then they put a third one out. I'm like, nope. Put a
Yeah.
fourth one out. I'm like, nope. Too
So
many.
I found a balance, sort of.
Two.
No, no. I listened the first like two songs I listened to like on repeat and I can already like sing along to them. With the other ones, I literally just played them once to hear it and then I haven't put it on again. So like as far as like talking about this new release right now, I can't really tell you, but I checked it out and I'm not going to run it into the ground and then when the album comes out, like I feel like that's a decent way to do it cuz I'm too curious to not listen at all, but I don't want to be sick of half the album before it comes out.
Yeah. Especially when like we'll listen to it a lot when it comes out, and then in November leading up to this show, it'll be in heavy rotation.
Yeah. And I mean, unless they really do a shit job with this album, they're a band where I'm listening to the album like 5 times a day, probably.
Yeah.
I like really run them into the ground when they put out music, but it's fun. We had another single, and I think that's it for singles this week. Menzingers put out a single. There's no place in this world for me. That's what it's called. I really liked it.
Menzingers.
I think I like it more than their whole last album. I didn't
Ooh.
listen to that last album very much,
Okay.
so that might not be very fair.
Like you
But
say, it was vintage Menzingers. Everything you love about the Menzingers and expect from the Menzingers is what you got
yeah,
with this
that,
song. It's very Greg heavy,
yeah,
obviously, because he's like, this is a Greg song, but like if it's a sign of things to come, like I expect another solid album from them.
yeah. His voice is so good.
That raspy scream he does, like
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. And like the guitar part is great, and then there's like an actual interesting bass line happening over it. Like it's not like two different bands, so I'm not comparing it in that way. But like whereas Taking Back Sunday was kind of like
call and
quarter eighth
response.
notes, like palm muting, this was a little more like interesting musically, or just went a little harder. But yeah, I just like you said, vintage Menzingers.
And like they've been long overdue for a new album. Like it's been 4 years since Hello Exile came out,
Wow. And that's one, two. So
2019.
this would be their fifth album? Or is it just yeah,
Sixth.
sixth?
There was one
Um
before Chamberlain Waits.
oh, I don't think I know that one. I know the one behind me. I know After the Party. Um then there's
Rented
one where
World.
I don't want to be an asshole that I always like don't listen
Rented
to.
World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's three. Then there was the one from last year. Or
Hello Exile.
like yeah.
And
And
then I
the
always
one
butcher this name because it's
butcher it.
really long. It's like technology something. Hold on.
No, that's
I
the
don't
name.
listen to
That's
it
the
that
name now.
much.
Yeah. This is like their
Chamberlain
first.
Waits is really good though. A let Okay, here goes. A lesson in the abuse of information technology.
Who decided on that one?
Not sure, but
Is that their first album?
first.
Wow.
But then their
I'm
second
gonna
one,
check that
Chamberlain
out.
Waits, is also really good.
All right. I'm gonna listen to some Menzingers that I've never listened to before. Because I get really hooked on albums by them and I don't go to other ones
And it's
very
just a half
often.
hour, so it's a quick listen.
Yeah, nice and easy. Very cool. Yeah, it's been slow as far as like albums coming out this time of year, but I like that singles are starting to float and we'll get some albums probably coming more like in the fall at this point.
Because the fall calendar is really late right now, like
Just
release wise.
just waiting for Blink and like the front bottoms. Actually,
And
do we
Sum
even
41.
know? Do we even know yet for Blink? Or do I just keep saying
No.
it's October? If it was
But you said
October,
it
they
was going
would
to be
have.
next year, didn't you?
No, for Sum 41. I'm saying
Ah,
for
that's right.
Blank.
Okay.
For Blank.
I'm starting to think that one might be 24. I don't know what they're waiting for.
If it was October, we would know by now. Unless they do a surprise drop. How
Get
awesome would that be?
Beyonce.
Eminem did it too. Did you see? Oh, I sent it to you. I know you
Him
saw it.
coming out with Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, in Detroit.
That's
That's
pretty
so
cool.
sick. Yeah. Ed Sheeran was playing Lose Yourself and then Eminem came out. Is he like the Bruce Springsteen of Detroit? Like every show? They're like, you think Marshall's gonna come out? Perform Lose Yourself?
I have to ask someone from Detroit, which I don't know anyone from Detroit.
All right. Well, if anyone from
TBD.
Detroit's listening, let us know. Um,
TBD 12.
nicely done. We need a rating system for jokes. How many? I don't know. We'll come up with something.
We should use someone's discography.
Like what album?
Like
Is it
like or like we just use like
like
blinks. Like that was in neighborhoods.
uh,
All right, I'll give
the
you Dude
neighborhoods, yeah,
Ranch
yeah. Oh, wow. All right, yeah, we'll just go album names to rate jokes.
or Cheshire Cat on that than Enema.
Yeesh, not your best work. I want to retry that one in a year, put on the next album. Um, there was some crazy other news. So Pink is performing in the UK, and during Just Like a Pill, someone threw their mom's ashes in a bag onto the stage. She bends down and picks them up and realizes what they are. And she points, she's like, Is this your mother? And I guess the person like nodded yes. She goes, I don't know how to feel about this. And she just walked to the front of the stage, placed them at the front of the stage, and they like stayed there the rest of the show.
That did not get the party started.
That was self-titled. That what do you even like? I just what's best case scenario? Does she like pour them on herself? Like, does she throw them into the crowd?
She keeps
What
them.
what are you hoping for there? I really I don't know. Like if you if you threw my ashes onto the stage for Fish, I I don't know what the end game is here. Maybe like I got nothing. There's really nothing you can do with a bag of ashes on a stage, short of just like throwing them, scattering them into the crowd, which is incredibly fucked up.
I think Voodoo Glow Skulls would have did that. Would have did that.
Probably. So this when I saw Fish at the Gorge, next to the stage of the Gorge, it's along, the gorge, the Colombian River, all this shit.
Looks like a beautiful venue. Like I just look at pictures of that venue sometimes.
It's it's unreal. I still can't believe I got to go there and camp there for like a weekend. It was amazing. Um, but next to the stage, there's like balconies where you can like go over. Well, you don't want to go over, but you could walk to the balcony and you could look out, over the chasm. And we're sitting up there before the show, just kind of people watching. And I guess these people wanted to honor their friend, and they had his ashes, and they went to throw this guy's ashes into the gorge. The only thing is, they didn't really check the wind upon doing this.
Oh no. So it's like Big Lebowski.
They blew back into into like everybody up there.
Including you.
No, we were up on the hill. We were
Okay.
up high looking down. We were just watching, but we saw the poof of ash.
The steam.
Yeah. Yeah. That I'm sure their friend, if he was a Fish fan, would have found that more entertaining than them successfully throwing his ashes into the gorge. But that was a rough one. Would you rather be thrown into the gorge or onto a a pink stage in a bag?
By far the gorge.
All right. You sure?
Pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, same.
If I knew more Pink songs, then maybe I'd change my answer.
Yeah. If yeah. I only know Just Like a Pill, and that wouldn't really have worked.
Throw me into Ruby Waves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with people throwing stuff. I saw another video, someone tossed their phone. Well, Mark Hoppus like encouraged them to. They threw their phone to him. He took selfies with Tom. He filmed from the stage, and then he tossed the phone back.
That happened at Real Big Fish. That happened at Less Than Jake the other night.
Yeah.
Did you see that at the
Yeah,
end?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where the trombone player had the camera?
Yeah, and he successfully tossed it back into the crowd. It's pretty good. Mark Mark Hoppus has his Discord or whatever, which is where he just like talks to his fans. And he said, one of these days, I'm just gonna take someone's phone, put it in my pocket, end the show, and leave. Like, how
He's
funny
getting
would
tired of
that
like
be?
people throwing phones at him.
He's like, how funny would it be if someone's just like, is he coming back? Like, did he just steal my phone? No, I don't think he's getting tired of it because they were just filming and he like motioned to them, like throw it. And he even did like I think they didn't want to because they're probably like, phones are expensive. I don't want to lose this.
Yeah.
But it was a
I would
good,
not throw my phone on stage at a show.
come on. If you're in front row and Mark Hoppus is asking you for your phone, you've played enough cornhole to be able to toss that thing.
That's true. And it is in an otter box, so
Yeah, so you're good. No free ads. I'll
no
bleep
free
that.
ads.
Yeah, I'd throw my phone to Mark Hoppus and Trey. So you had a question for me that you gave me no context for.
No, I did not give you context.
It has to do with earplugs.
It does. So we were at the benefit show on Saturday and like it was really loud in there. And so like Sandra's like, do you and Nick like not wear earplugs at shows? She's like, do you realize like when you're older, like people are gonna be talking to you and like you won't be able to hear anything. And you have like these really expensive hearing aids just to like hear a little something. She's like, shouldn't you start wearing those at shows? I'm like, oh, maybe that's not a bad point to maybe start breaking out earplugs, but I feel like has the damage been done at this point already? Or
I try not to think about it too much because I think there is a constant ringing in my ears, but I'm so used to it that to me that is what silence is. But if I become too aware of it, I might go crazy. It's I mean, it's not going to get better. Uh
I'm debating if I do make the move because I do like now that I look for it, I do see more and more people wearing them during shows.
yeah. This kid at the Lane show I was talking to, he had earplugs in. It made talking to him pretty difficult, which is kind of annoying. Um, I know friend of the pod, Lauren, wears earplugs. And a lot of people, because it comes up in like fish forums a lot, they swear by them and they say like you can hear the music better because of like I don't know why. I've never worn them. But like
I just say I wouldn't wear them to a fish show.
I could kind
I'm
of
thinking like
see
our
it
punk
like
shows.
yeah, I can see like if you were to cover your ears, you can still hear. You're still getting everything. Like it's not like they're fully blocking out the sound because then why are you even going to the show? How
Yeah,
funny would that be? Someone
you just
wears
can't
ear.
hear anything.
They just really like the light show and the environment and sweating. Yeah, I don't know. It'd probably be a good idea, but so would a lot of things.
Yeah, it's like I'm
So
toying with it. But then I made myself laugh. I'm like picturing myself like old and like someone's trying to talk to me. I can't hear a single like goddamn thing they're saying. And the only thing in my head
huh? Speak up.
and the only thing in my head is just the ending guitar solo of David Bowie. And that's all I care about because I can't hear
All you
anything.
hear is you're like those people get like stuck in an acid trip forever. Be stuck in an audio acid trip. And you'd always be like shaking your head. What's he doing? He's listening to solo, man.
Full tray face and I can't hear anything.
Someone asks you a question, you just be like, never know it. That's how he says what. I think there's probably some sick assisted hearing things though by now. Like you probably control that from your phone.
Oh, I'm sure.
I could
And given like another like 40 years, 30 years,
yeah, they'll probably be able to translate for you.
get new ears,
I don't know if they would go that far, but that'd be really cool.
artificial intelligence ears.
I'll share my ears with a robot. Eh, maybe not. All right, we'll try earplugs someday.
Eventually,
Not
maybe.
Saturday. Well, we can ask Lauren Saturday at Stoke for Summer.
Maybe I'll bring some with me and then make a game time decision.
Yeah. I mean, you could always just, take them out or
Fish.
put them in. It's not like if you decide to wear them,
I'm
they
just
have to
stuck with
be in.
them. Yeah.
I'm gonna get you ones that you don't know are actually headphones, and then I'm gonna just blast the ending to David Bowie.
Sound like the best pair of head of earplugs you can ask for.
Does sound fun.
But yeah, I will absolutely not have them Wednesday.
No. Man. Yeah, next time that we do an episode, we'll have gone to Fish and Stoke for Summer.
And there'll
Wow.
be a new Yellow Card EP out
Wow.
after we thought they were gone.
Yeah, no, I've heard nothing but good things from people who went on that tour. Shout out Vinny,
False advertising again, though.
Meredith, my friend Nick from work, friend Kevin from work,
Oh, Vinny
lot
went
of
to that.
people. Vinny went and sat on the boardwalk.
You said they sounded good.
Yeah. And it looked like he had a great spot. There's like that little grass area by like the bathrooms, I guess. There might be another one that's not by the bathrooms, but people had like blankets and lawn chairs and seemed like a great idea to hear a show.
You say Story of the Year was good too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what my buddy Kevin was saying was like story of the year like brought a lot of energy and like he said Yellow Card didn't quite have the same energy.
They're
But
mellower though.
yeah. And they played half of Ocean Avenue, which we've established is fine because half of that album is not as strong as I remember it being,
Very front loaded.
but they very much advertised it as like the Ocean Avenue tour. I guess
Like what?
now we need bands to specifically say they're playing an album in full.
I,
Otherwise, I thought they did, but
I thought they did too. Like, did like Less Than Jake came out and flat out said we're playing Hello Rock for You in its entirety, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think if you don't have that clarification, maybe you expect like a deep cut or two, and it's in honor of this is a new thing. Anytime a band's ever put an album in the tour title, that's not a new album. They've always played it in full. That's for as long as I can remember, I think.
That's how I've interpreted it.
Yeah. But now, we had Sum 41 do it. We had Yellow Card do it with these like the Ocean Avenue tour, the All Killer No Filler, 20 years, whatever. Yeah.
We were
So,
duped.
yeah, that's okay. Sum 41 could do whatever they want. I wish they
Yeah.
wouldn't break up. Yellow Card, I'm just sad I didn't go. So I'm just going to be a hater. No, I'm excited for the EP. Yeah, we'll have that next time. We'll have Fish next time. We'll Stoke for Summer recap. We will have book club. We're gonna save it for next episode. So if you're following along, read part 1 or don't do whatever you want. But we're gonna
He's
talk
did
about
a good
we're,
amount
yeah,
so
we're gonna
far.
talk about part 1. Very excited. That book is seriously like if you're listening to us and you're still listening to us into this hour episode, and you even kind of like reading, like you have to get this book. It is so interesting. It is so good. It's all firsthand accounts from these artists, from the time periods, how these bands started at VFWs and nothing and made it to like rooftop New Year's Eve hosting the ball drop with Jay-Z in Times Square. Like this scene blew up so far bigger than what I remember. Like it is unreal. Secret clubs and all this shit that they had. Like there's so many good stories. I can't recommend it enough, especially if you're into music and 2000s music. Like join us, talk about it with us because it's gonna be awesome. I'm very excited. So that's my speech. Great book.
That's a hell of a pitch right there.
It it's just yeah, there's so many stories. It's awesome. Which we'll get to next week. Or maybe 2 weeks if we run Millington next week. We'll figure that out
TBD.
off the air. But either way, we hope everyone's summer's going good. We hope you're going to lots of shows. We hope bands are playing albums in full if they say they're going to. And as always, we love you and we'll see you next time.
Oh, my friends, backwards down
Down
the
the
number line.
line.